Buddy, I got something on my heart tonight, man. I gotta share with you guys. Um, I want to tell a little bit about my testimony and a little bit of things that, like, people are asking why, man, you support Joseph so much, Pyrex. You support him so much. You're always listening to his music. You're always talking about him. You're always doing things about him. And it's because I can relate to the man. His testimony is not the same exact as mine, but a lot is the same. And the same emotions and same pains, and when you can relate to somebody like that, and you know that you're not alone, you feel that you're not alone, and you feel that someone else has struggled with it too, so you're not alone in that situation. It's powerful. A lot of people know my story, a lot of people don't know my story. you know I grew up in a drug addicted home. You know what I mean? There was fighting going on amongst my stepdad and my mom, arguing and fighting and slapping each other and beating each other, and drugs involved, and then my stepdad hitting me and fighting with me and whatnot, and just constantly arguing and whatnot. And it just it was a dysfunctional home. I grew up. My real dad, he wasn't around all the time, but he was around on the weekends. I had so much resentment, so much anger built up of why he didn't come around as much, and why he let these things happen, and why I was created in this world for this pain and the situations that I was in and whatnot. And the God was never talked about in the home. There was no church. There was always like, don't say nothing. Don't repeat what you've heard at home. Don't say, a bad fight at home happens, and one night, and then my mom's telling me, don't tell nobody when you go to school. Don't say nothing what happened yesterday. So you get that mentality of be quiet, stick to yourself, and don't say nothing type of mentality. And then my mom always used to say, why don't you go play with your friends? Go play with your friends. And, going in the streets and playing with my friends. And, I lived in a trailer park. And in the trailer park, we grew up, not, a lot of the kids were older than me. They were bigger than me. They picked on me. I got my nose broken in 2nd grade. Got picked on a lot as a little kid. And, I just grew up. And then, the anger built up. And then finally it let out. And when I let that anger let out, I realized what I could do with it. And I realized what I had to do to get respect and to get and to feel loved and to feel accepted was to lash out and be the bad kid and the class clown, and then the girls started liking me and things started happening for me, and it created a monster. And then at around 15 years old, I seen all my buddies and their brothers were selling drugs. My real father was gone. He went to Florida to be, to start a new life, and I didn't want to be at home, so I just wanted to do what I seen these guys doing in the streets, man, with the money and the girls, and just wanted to change my life up, and that's what I wanted to be. Watching the mobster movies and Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood, and listening to the music and just getting into it, it created more of a monster. And then you start doing the drugs, you're selling the drugs, you're doing the drugs, and before you know it just creates even more of a monster, and it just keeps creating and creating. And you keep doing and doing and trying to build up more and more. And it wasn't no good, man. And long story short, my dad came back into my life, came back from Florida, moved back home. I started getting into some criminal activity with my father and his people and his organization. We got in with them people and started doing things. And then one day, I was drunk, passed out. My dad said he was coming over to give me some money, and I fell asleep. He knocked on the door, and I didn't hear it until he was already gone. He was already driving away, and then he got killed by a drunk driver. And I blame myself. If I would have just answered the door, so I lost my role model, my true role model. I lost him. He died by a drunk driver. 8 months later, my mom died. You know what I mean? So now when people start talking about God, I never want to hear about no God, because I'm already upset, angry, and irritated, and frustrated. You know what I mean? And the message is the way you think is the way you feel, is the way you act. So at a young age, I was thinking that I was not loved by my parents. I felt alone and not accepted. I felt like no respect. I felt just lonely and not loved and all this stuff. I was thinking that way, I started feeling that way, and I started acting that way. And it wasn't until that day when I was, after I got rid of the 5 to 20 years sentence, and I got 2 years felony probation, and they let me go because they knew I was more of a asset to them to be on the streets, so they could get me caught up again where I have to try to snitch. But you know, the system didn't plan for this. The system didn't plan for me to get Jesus in my life. You know what I mean? And I did. I found him. You know, as I was going to try to kill myself, and I asked if there is a God, I don't want to do this. And I took the pills and I took the alcohol, and he saved me. And I went to church. I gave my life over to Christ. 3 days later, after that, after I woke up from all that craziness, I woke up. I asked life into my. I went to church. Asked Jesus into my life, and I've been sober ever since. 8 years later, running the life, sacrificing, giving my life as a daily sacrifice to Him. And that's why I can relate to Pyrex, man. Because you know, I might not have the tattoos, and you know, I might not have been in the disciplers, you know, the gangster disciples. But you know, we had our cliques here, we had our gangs here, we had our situations here. It's all the same. The streets don't love you. The streets don't respect you. And we all go to bat for somebody that's going to snitch on us. We all risk our lives for somebody that's going to end up ratting on us. Because that's what they do. They talk, they talk, they talk. There is no morals in the streets anymore. There ain't no nothing in the streets no more. It's over. It's done with. It's a lie. It's God's, Satan's tool to kind of steal, kill, and destroy us. So that's why I relate to Joseph, man. And he's inspired me, man, to get off the Facebook and dedicate the life to ministry. It's just been amazing things, and I appreciate it, man. So the message is, what you're thinking is how you're feeling, is how you're acting. So get with Christ so you can be thinking like Christ, thinking how He loves you, how He accepts you, how He created you. You start thinking like Him, start realizing that you'll be feeling like Him, and you'll be wanting to act like Him. So think like Christ, feel like Christ, act like Christ. That's how you need to be. And the only way to start thinking like Christ is to start learning His Word, and to start regurgitating and soaking up His Word, which is, He does love you. You are accepted. You've been created for a purpose. You are planned for something great. You've got something for you. You've got something because you've got the Creator. And then you can start thinking like that. And you can start feeling like that. And then you can start pouring out and acting like that. Because like Joseph McSweeney says, a go-getter, a go-giver is a go-receiver, which is going to go far in life. So be a go-giver. Give to receive and receive to give. That man's taught me a lot, man. He's a good inspiration. And he's the real deal because I've hung out with him. He is truly what he says he is. You know, he is a changed person. And that's why we're having this concert. Because our church, and we believe that God can take something so broken, so beat up, so demolished, and so tainted, and He can put it back together for something so beautiful and so great and so strong and so courageous and so powerful for His glory. If we humble our knees and we get on our knees and we ask Him, we got to humble ourselves. So Joseph, man, if you're watching this, man, I thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart. Your family, your ministry, your everything, man. You've been a great inspiration in my life. Me and my wife were sitting down for a dinner together, and we was talking about you, man. And you know, I pray for you daily, pray for your ministry. I'm just grateful to be a part of it, man. Just even if it's just a small part that gets to get encouraged by you and encourage you in little ways. And I mean, I see what people, when they listen to the music in my car, and how they get touched by it, and how a man was just saved. He called up Pyrex, and Pyrex led him to the Lord, and it's just those little encouragement things, man. It's just powerful. So I believe in your message, man. I believe in your word because I feel it because I've been there, man. You know, I've been there. You know, from Detroit to Texas, it's the same pain. It's the same streets. And, you know, it's the same characters playing the game. It's just in a different little town, and you know. Much love, my brother. I love you, man. I love all you're doing out there. I can't wait to see you May 20th. Actually, the 19th when you roll in JoJo. And looking forward to seeing JoJo. So, praying for you, man. Much love. Take care, brother.